Hello and welcome. My name is James Russell and this is my reflection video for my portfolio. I am pursuing a graduate degree in educational technology with a certificate in online teaching. I enrolled in the PT program in the fall of 2010. During my 3-year journey through this program, I have learned many valuable concepts that I have already put into place in my classroom and many others that I hope to use in the next phase of my career. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a middle school math teacher in Casper, Wyoming. I have been teaching middle-level math for 10 years. I've always been interested in the use of technology in my classroom and how I can use it to make math more interesting. I've been fortunate enough to teach in a one-to-one school for most of my career. Every one of my students has an Apple laptop that they use here at school, home every night. My decision to obtain this degree was based on the fact that I wanted to learn what else I could be doing with this wonderful device and how I can make my classes even more effective using technology. In this video, I will share with you some of my favorite and most useful artifacts I created while here at Boise State. I will share with you what I learned while creating these artifacts and how these artifacts have impacted my teaching. The first artifact I'd like to share with you comes from the edtech 1 class, Introduction to the Educational Technology, with Dr. Barbara Schroeder. One of the first projects we created was our PLN, or Professional Learning Network. Now, when we started this project, I had never even heard of a professional learning network, nor did I think mine was very large. And by comparison, mine's about moderate size compared to some of my classmates in the program. You can definitely tell the difference between some people who have extensive background in educational technology and some of us who don't. Some of this process was that Facebook, for instance, is part of a professional learning network. Prior to this course, I would never have considered Facebook part of anything other than just social media. But through this class, I learned that Facebook can be much, much, much more. We ran an edtech group through this class, my own personal accounts, and through this remainder of the program here in Boise State, I've also learned many other useful uses for the Facebook account. My professional organizations have blossomed throughout this process. I now belong to more than 10 different professional organizations. As you can see here, there were only 5 at this point in time. Another great thing we learned about was called Zotero libraries. Zotero is a wonderful educational classrooms with my students to help them organize and create annotated bibliographies, another thing that we also did during this class. Prior to this course, I had never ever used blog and start using blogging, and now I actually use blogging in my classroom as a way of reflecting on what my students have learned about today's topics. Google has always been part of my professional learning network. I'm huge on the Google and the Google Documents and now the Google Drive. Other things such as podcasts and vodcasts, screencasting tools. I've learned a lot about those things. So my professional learning network in 501, as you can tell, was pretty limited. However, it has gotten exponentially larger through the course of this program. Another project in the 1 class was a digital divide letter. I chose to write a letter to our superintendent of schools, who was new this year, about the digital divide that we currently see within my own school. The digital divide, or digital equality, is defined as the gap between those that have the means to use access and those that do not. In my district, we have closed that gap by enacting a one-to-one program. I go on here to talk to my superintendent about one of the concepts that I'm concerned about, which is our students have to take home each and every night. However, while at home, many of our students do not have access. For example, 100% of our school, yet only 78% of white children have internet access while at home. Only 46% of African American children and 48% of Latino children. And put that down to another 43% of Native American. This is rather alarming when you realize that almost all 100% of our students are at schools. Another variable that we take into consideration is that children whose parents have a graduate level degree have an 88% have access, while only 55% of children have access when parents have only a high school diploma, and only 35% of those whose parents did not complete high school. This was a rather alarming statistics for me when we have a school district that is trying to get our students to learn to use technology in a responsible manner. I am pleased to say, though, that after this letter and after a few years of work with our school district, we have instituted programs within our community to educate our parents on the necessity of having internet access or at least having the ability to access internet, whether that be through coffee shops or hotspots around town and those things, so that their children can be connected to the World Wide Web and to their own professional learning networks that exist. In EdTech 505, Evaluation for Educational Technologists, with Dr. Ross Perkins, we had to create an evaluation project, and we got to evaluate a program of our choice. I chose a program near and dear to me, which is the evaluation of ebooks in a mathematics classroom. In my school district, we moved to the use of ebooks or electronic textbooks in our mathematics classrooms. For this evaluation, my school, Dean Morgan Junior High School, recently changed curriculums and chose to use ebooks for their math courses rather than a traditional text. The school wanted to know if this was an effective media for teaching mathematics. So the job fell upon me to design and implement an evaluation tool that we could determine whether this was effective or if we should just go back to using regular old textbooks. As I went through the evaluation process, the evaluation resulted in a mixed review. Students and teachers liked the media of ebooks. However, parents did not. In the end, ebooks seemed to be a good solution for the school. I recommend that they try to alleviate the parent concerns by educating them on the new style and help them learn how to help their student with a digital media. I am pleased to say that after 3 years later, I guess 2 years later with this program, most of our parents are coming along with the idea of electronic textbooks. It seems to be that the main part was that not the textbook being online itself, but rather the format of the textbook while online. Parents just thought it was a little harder or not quite as easy to access the information when they were trying to help their students. Through the evaluation process, one of the things that I learned was not only that when you implement a program like this, you need to have very clear and concise goals. So the 4 questions that we chose to ask about this program were, number 1, how are ebooks being used in math classrooms? How do students feel about using an ebook? How do teachers feel about using an ebook? And how do the parents feel about using an ebook? Who would be most impacted by the results of this evaluation? Really, it would be the teachers and the administration most impacted. The students and parents will pretty well use whatever we give them to learn from. Teachers and administration, it costs money, resources, and time to learn whatever the new materials would be. As we scroll down here through our evaluation process, the standards and goals for this program, one of the goals of the program was to reduce the cost of textbooks and related repairs, such as rebinding and having to fix torn pages and those kind of things. Increase student attitude for mathematics. We thought with the use of technology and using the computer just as the medium, that students might enjoy mathematics a little more with not having to carry around that heavy textbook. And we thought about reducing the backpack weight for students. In the middle schools, backpacks can get quite heavy, and there are an alarming number of health issues related to weight of backpacks. So we thought if we could get rid of that backpack, or that textbook in the backpack, it might make a huge difference for students. In order to collect the data that we needed, we chose to use basic surveys. We decided to create a survey for the students, a survey for the parents, and a survey for the teachers. When we created these surveys, the student surveys came out pretty strongly agreeing that it helped them in the subject area of math. They did like math, they enjoyed the class a lot more. See if we scroll here. They like attending school. They like the subject mathematics. They like that they get to take their laptops home. They like that the math book is on their laptop. 42 of them had said that as compared to 10 with disagreeing and 4 with strongly disagreeing. So that seemed to be a pretty outstanding number as far as the students go, with the textbook being on their laptop. Now, as we scroll down here to the parent survey, you'll notice that the parent survey, we didn't have nearly as many parents respond as we had students. However, in the parent survey, 14 said their child likes school, 10 their child likes mathematics, and 12 still said their child likes the math book being on their computer. But then you go down here to the next question that says, I like the textbook being on the computer. 14 strongly disagreed as compared to the 5 and 3 that agreed and the 1 that strongly agreed. That's very contraindicative to what the students had said. So we had to really take this into consideration when making our final decision with program. As we go down here and talk about it for the teachers, we only had 6 teachers respond to the survey. We only had 6 math teachers in our building at the point in time. Of these 6 teachers, you can see that mostly they are agreeing that the textbook is a good thing in their classroom. So the big thing I learned through this course and by creating this project was just how important it is to have very structured goals, very structured objectives, and having meaningful ways of assessing those objectives and those goals. Then making your conclusion. And I also learned a lot about long-range planning and what we could do in the future for this program. The last artifact I'd like to share with you is an artifact from edtech 543 Social Media with Dr. Jackie Gerstein. This project or artifact was about creating a positive digital footprint. I didn't even know what a digital footprint was prior to starting this course. And after this course, I am much more aware of what information I am putting out there on the internet and what I'm posting on blogs and social media websites and so forth. I've also taken the opportunity, using the information from this course, to create a list here of rules, basically, that my students need to follow when posting to our class website and our class blogs. Do not post pictures that are compromising, unflattering, or place you in a bad situation. Many of our students are having this problem right now with Facebook and Twitter and those kind of things, with posting things that are not necessarily appropriate. Students and adults tend to be much more brave, I guess you'd call it, when posting, when it's not even face-to-face and it's electronic. So the thing I learned through edtech 543 was how to create a list of guidelines, I guess you would call them, for students and parents as far as how to create a positive digital footprint so that when an employer or prospective employer looks for you on the internet, they find good things about you and not some negative things or compromising things that would keep you from possibly getting that job or getting that motion. So to sum up this reflecting video, I would just like to point out that the Educational Technology program here at Boise State has given me so much knowledge and so much content to use in my classroom and in my future career, whatever that may happen to be. Through the courses of edtech 1, edtech 505, edtech 543, and all the other courses that I have taken at Boise State University, I feel that I have become a much greater citizen for digital leadership and digital literacy. I can now use these concepts in a classroom, and I also feel that I can become a leader within my building and in my school district for the progress of educational technology and moving it forward. I hope that through this presentation you have seen some of the products that are out in the educational technology program and some of the skills that we have learned. I'd like to thank the Boise State University Educational Technology program for allowing me to be a part of this program and participate in this course. I'd like to thank all the instructors in the educational technology field for their time and their considerations when teaching us all this material and putting us through this program. I can definitely say I am a better teacher and better instructor now than I was prior to starting this program. Thank you very much.